I have a viewer question. I have a question from Just Talk to Jesus. He says, I'm 25 and I was a 19-year-old girl was hitting on me. And then I asked her for her number and she said, you're too old. He wants to know how he could like fix that and actually get his number. And so I think he should have like playfully bantered back with her and said, it's like, oh, you're right. I think he should have like made a joke or something. And then I think she would have gave her her number.
Like
You could have said, "Who's your daddy, baby?"
That's what I was gonna say. I'm
I'll be
old
your
enough to
daddy.
be your daddy.
I'll be your daddy.
I feel like he probably. I feel like
Don't
she
talk
was, like,
to daddy
testing
like
him.
that. Don't talk to your daddy like that.
So I think she was probably like testing him or something. And
Maybe
he failed the test.
Yeah,
By
probably.
acting all awkward.
He
like,
probably
"Oh."
went, "Oh." He was all deflated by that.
How did she know his age?
I don't have the exact details. They probably told each other the age.
It's got to be quick and witty.
Because they probably asked each other's age because he probably saw she was younger and made sure she was like above 18.
Or above.
You could also flip it around and go, well, you are kind of younger than most girls I would normally date. I mean, you're not even old enough to drink. However, you're kind of cute and you're kind of funny. And so I'm open to you convincing me that I should give you a chance. That's the attitude that you should have.
Caroline, you made an interesting face. You don't think that would work?
You guys know my opinion when it comes to the teens.
She's 19.
Teens.
He's 25. It's a big deal.
That's like, what, 6?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, an extreme case. There was a video that I saw. It was a short. It was about Charlie Chaplin and his wife. So he was, I think, 56. And he was single, and so he met this girl she was, I think, 17 when they first met. She was introduced to him in Hollywood. I think she was like an aspiring actress or whatever. And she was from, I think, Sweden or Denmark, the Netherlands or something like that. And she just dug him. She was really into him, and obviously he was like, she was beautiful. And so I think within 6 months, after she turned 18, they started dating, and her father did not approve at all. He was not happy about that. And she was like, we're in love. I don't care, Daddy. And so she ended up marrying him, and I believe her father basically disowned her because he didn't approve of the marriage, and they lived happily ever after until he died, I think, into his 80s. They had like six or eight kids, I think it was.
Jeez.
So they went everywhere together. And it's like, what would a 56-year-old man have in common with a 19-year-old? It's like they were smitten. They had a big family and lived happily ever after.
So who's taking care of the kids now? Just her?
She's probably dead.
No, she's dead too. So he's 56, she's 19. So what is that's 35 year age difference, I think.
That's crazy.
And so you say, oh, that's crazy. How could she? She's gonna totally outlive him. And so you never know what's gonna happen. But so he died in his 80s, and she only lived 15 years after he did. And she ended up dying, I think, of pancreatic cancer in her late 50s, early 60s, I think it was. So just because you're the same age doesn't mean you're going to come down with, some illness that takes you out.
Get hit by a bus.
Yeah. I mean, you could be the same age. You could both be, 25 when you meet and you fall in love. And then he drops dead at 60, 65. And she lives to be 90, 95. That's 30 years. 30 years she lived without her husband.
Was he rich?
Charlie Chaplin?
He was the first silent movie star.
Charlie Chaplin was like the biggest original movie star in the world. It's like
and director.
Movies were like he made movies happen. He was one of the original geniuses.
We used to wear a top hat.
Yeah, and he had the
hair,
dark makeup around his eyes.
And the mustache thing. And always wore like a black suit and was like kind of dancing. But it was like silent stuff. All black and white. What year did she die? Like probably the 50s?
He died in 1975.
Yeah,
I think 20s. It was 75, 76.
She already died in the 90s.
And no, she died in the 80s. She died only like 14, 15 years after he did.
Ew.
Are you oohing him?
He's scary looking.
He's also pretty short too.
I was gonna say, is he
He's
like?
the tramp.
He looks like
One of his
a.
famous characters. You should watch City Lights. City Lights is a really good movie.
So he died in 1977. He was 88 years old. He died in Switzerland. That's where his wife was from, Switzerland. And so, like I said, they got married within a year of, I think, meeting and falling in love. I think she was 18 or 19 when they got married. And so she died in 1991. She was 66 years old. And I think it was pancreatic cancer, if I'm not mistaken.
And he died when he was.
He was 88.
Okay.
And she
A long
died.
time.
So she lived 22 years less than he did.
Mm.
And so that was about 14. She died about 14 years after he did. So he died in 77. She died in 91. So it was 14 years. So you think, oh my God, they had a 35-year age difference. It's like she only lived 14 years more. So it's like, you know, that's, if you love each other, it's like, who fucking cares?
He was 5'3".
Yeah, he was a little short dude.
It's an inch taller than me.
I like Modern Times and City Lights.
But he was the original movie star. Charles Spencer
From like
Chaplin.
1914 to like 1967, he made movies. A lot of movies.
Looking these people up feels unreal. Like they feel like not real people.
Oh, he's not real anymore.
Well, I mean, hell, he was like the early 1900s was when silent movies came out. You know, that's so you would go to the movie theater and there would be somebody playing the piano. That was the music. That was the soundtrack. So somebody would be playing the piano while a silent film is playing up on the screen. And it was like 5 or 10 cents for a ticket back then. And so he made millions because that was before TV, it was before radio, it was before talkies. You know, that's what they called movies that had a soundtrack. And that was a love story.